Travel like kings and queens. Listen to the inner voice. A higher wisdom is at work for you. What does that mean? I don't know. But today we're going to find out. We're going to explore it. We're going to unpack it. We're going to discover it. We're going to look at it. We're going to see it. And then we're going to reconfigure it. And then we're going to package it up. And again, we're going to put it in our back pocket. And we'll have it forever. There are three types of king. Let's back up a bit. So first, there's the king and the queen. When we think of kings and queens, we think of monarchs. We think of movie stars. We think of celebrities. But there's a much more ancient king and queen. That term, those words, those archetypes come from way, way back in our ancestry, even in our mythology. The king and queen were archetypes. They were beings in an invisible realm, in a mythological space, not in this space, not in this time, not physical, but in our imaginations. The realm of the mythology. And this was a shared imagination, and the king and the queen were the highest sacred power, and they would stream down and channel down their energy. And the king, let's talk about the king, the sacred king energy, because I'm not quite sure really what the role of the queen's role was, sure, because I haven't read it yet, but I have read, that's the book about, this is Iron John, and I've been reading about the sacred king, the king in our minds, the king in our mythologies, in our mythology, in our ancestry, doesn't exist anymore. It's been destroyed. We've forgotten it, or we've pushed it down, or maybe the Catholic Church and Christianity didn't allow it. So now we have these physical kings, monarchs, that are but pale reflections of what could be represented. And the sacred king, here's the presence of the sacred king, creates order. It's not the king himself, it's not the sacred king himself that creates order, it's his presence. Think about that for a moment, because that is fucking profound and fucking amazing. It's our presence that creates order around us. It's not us, what we do, it's our presence. When I say us, imagine that being channeled down from this shared mythology through storytelling, through vision questing, through ceremony and ritual, having this direct connection with king energy, showing us how to be in our integrity, showing us how to live and be happy with purpose and drive and an open heart and a soft heart with courage and vulnerability. All these things, there's so many of them, but they can all be packaged up into alignment. We get into alignment and boom, we're present. That's what it all comes down to, presence. And with that presence comes order. With that presence comes alignment, comes life. Like the eye of the storm is the perfect metaphor, because the eye of the storm is still and it's present, and all around it is chaos, storm, bonkersness, life being thrown this way and that way, and you can't make sense of it. But we're ordered, we're still, and life will come to us. Life will order itself when we are with that sacred king. But we've lost it. So instead, we have these pale reflections. Monarchs, they don't have that connection of ofs. They don't have the inner connection. So they're not creating order. Again, that's just a pale reflection of the transcendental diamond doorway that stands before and within, beckoning softly in our dreams and our imagination. Our monarchs do not create order with their presence. And then the celebrities, the layer down. The king, I think of like Elvis Presley or Prince, amazing musicians, don't get me wrong, love Prince. But these people, these men are idolized, and they get a lot of earthly treasure. They get material wealth, they get a lot of gold coin, and they get to do what pretty much they want. They get to have a lot of fun, a lot of pleasure. But it's not the sacred king energy. It's not the presence and the stillness that creates order. What is then missing, so we got a layer down, so we've gone from sacred king in the mythological space to the physical earthly king, the monarchs and the celebrities that we idolize and we put on pedestals and we think are amazing. We really want to be like them and we wish to be like them and we work hard and we do all these things because hard work equals fame and fortune, right? That's what we all want. It's not the goal. It is the goal. We're all doing it. It's hard not to because we've lost connection to the sacred king. Sacred king, earthly king, celebrities and monarchs, inner king. This is where it starts, and this is where it starts in the individual. In every man, there is an inner king. And that inner king is our direct connection to the mythological king of the imaginal space. And that king is dead within us. He was probably alive when we were 2 or 3 years old. That little boy who knew what he wanted. He was brave, he was courageous, he spoke his truth, he went after what he wanted. He didn't care, he was carefree, he was loving. That 2-3-year-old boy was probably the best representation of the inner sacred king of men before it is brutally smashed out of us through, all right, let's just say it, through bad parenting, for sure, through schooling. That's any sort of creativity is beaten out of us. Well, it's not beaten out of us, but it's taught out of us. It's conditioned out of us. School is not designed to create a healthy, happy, creative human being. That's a story for another time. So by the time we get to our teenage years, we're lost. The king inside us is dead. We go through our 20s, go through our 30s. I find it very hard sometimes to make a simple decision because I'm not connected to that inner king. That inner king knows exactly what he wants all the time in every moment. If that's a simple matter of picking a meal on a menu, he knows that indecisiveness. Which item of clothing will I go for here? Will I go for the green jumper or the blue jumper? I don't know. I need to ask someone's opinion. That is the loss of that inner knowing. Travel like a king. Listen to the inner voice. A higher wisdom is at work for you. That's what it means. We're getting closer to that source. It's in our hearts, it's in our heads, it's in our guts. That's the alignment. And when that king dies, a shadow king emerges. That shadow king abhors creativity, discourages creativity, discourages presence, discourages enthusiasm and heart. It becomes a tyrant, hate, bitterness, resentfulness. These are the Herods. King Herod, what a beautiful example that is. Any creativity around him is killed. Creativity, Stalin, Trump. These are the shadow kings that are emerging because of the lack of the inner spiritual king. No, let's not go spiritual, let's go sacred. The sacred king, the connection. Every man has a choice. Every woman has a choice. Because king and queen didn't used to mean gender. It wasn't this division of human beings into gender roles. That's not what king and queen meant. Remember, these are archetypes. These are psyche, organized ideas or organized elements of consciousness within the psyche that we all have access to. This is a shared realm, non-material, pure because it's non-material, because it's not in the earthbound, it's not physical. So we're not getting stuck in gender here. Everyone has a king in them. Everyone has an ability to choose which king they fuel. The king that the shadow king is the easy option. If you're unintentional about it, the shadow king arises effortlessly because it's easy to judge others for their work. It's easy to hate on others for their efforts. What is not easy What is effortful is taking action and moving in a direction that is in alignment, that takes an element of effort and presence to be that king. So we're sleepwalking. I say we, let's say many people, many men are sleepwalking. And in so doing, they are fueling the shadow king. It's an intentional choice. Who am I going to feed? Am I going to feed my presence and do the challenging thing, the effortful thing, the hard thing? Maybe. Not a big fan of like using the word hard work. I don't want to do hard work. It's effortful work, but it's not hard. It's the hard part is ignoring the impulse to do something that's going to take me away from my alignment. That's the shadow energy. So we've come full circle. We fuel the shadow king, or we fuel the sacred king. One is easy, one is not so easy. It's a choice. It's always a choice. In every moment we have that choice. When we fuel it within ourselves, then we will align with others that are fueling it within themselves. That's just physics. That's just physics, right? Because you can't have two different energies in the same space. You can't have left fist and right fist in the same place. The same space. They just can't get into the same place. One needs to like overall win. What does that mean? Well, when you are a solid in your sacred king energy, then that's the energy you give out. That's the energy that comes back. And the more you, of course it's in the heart. Of course it's an expansion of the heart. Staying present is in the heart by very definition. Staying present to what the heart is feeling, no matter what is going on, no matter what the storm is around us. We're staying rooted, we're staying present. That can be excruciatingly vulnerable, painful. That's going to bring up the emotions, the challenge, oh my God, the big emotions, shame, grief. Shame and grief. I mean, shame is probably the most excruciating. Talked about that yesterday. And then there's grief. Grief doesn't have to be a collapse, doesn't have to be a falling apart. It can be a holding, a carrying, a gentleness, a tenderness. And at the same time with warrior energy, holding myself up high, head held forward, facing the world. None of this is going to be easy. There's not a lot of role models out there doing this. But we're here for it, right? We're here for it. This is what the world needs. Look at the world. Look at the men in charge of our world. Are they in their sacred king energy, or are they in their shadow king energy? Trump, do I need to say anything more? Destructive, selfish, greedy, on and on and on. Yeah, uncaring, unempathetic. It just goes on and on and on. That is a shadow king right there that we have placed at the top of the free world, the so-called free world. That could be an issue. What can we do about it? Well, we can't do anything about it. I don't have the power to change political systems. It's not the right way of thinking. The right way of thinking is the choice in every single moment. Some people like to say the choice between love and fear, like Bill Hicks said. It's a simple choice right now between love and fear. The eyes of fear want us to stay indoors, buy bigger locks and fear our neighbors. The eyes of love instead see us all as one. So here's what we can do right now to change the world to a better ride. We can take all that money we spend every year on weapons and defenses, and we can instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would do many times over, not one human being excluded. And we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever in peace. Amen. Inshallah. Inshallah. You know what I'm saying? You down with this? Right. So we have a choice in every moment. Connect to our inner king. Connect to our inner king. That means staying open to feeling and not allowing the thoughts, the stories, the old stories, the socially acceptable constructs and the narratives, the judgments the hatred, the bitterness, the closing down, the comparison, which so much of our modern world, our social media world, is so built, so designed in a way that makes that so easy. How easy is it to compare yourself when you're looking on social media? It's so easy, it's so dangerous. How challenging or how effortful it is to scroll or see a piece of content and be like, wow, like this, you may not like what you're seeing, but you can appreciate someone's effort that they've put into it. So what someone is trying to do, they're trying to follow their goal, trying to follow their dream with a system that it's just ubiquitous, isn't it? Social media. So staying present and staying open and staying loving and just noticing what's going on up here, noticing the stories. The mind likes to distract itself from what's going on in the body, because the body will, if we follow this path, it's going to bring it all up to the surface, to be felt, to be processed, to be released. What do? We go to the head, we distract ourselves for a little bit. It's a great lyric by an amazing musician called Edward Chilvers, who's an absolute G-funk at music. And he says, sometimes the heart just hurts. What are you going to do? Are you going to run to the mind and give it something to do? Or will you stay firm in the heart like a tree and see the whole storm through? That sums it up right there. That sums it up in its entirety. You notice the mind, the storytelling machine that is the mind is made up of stories and words. The mind is made up of language. Language is made up of words. Words create stories. Mind is stories. Mindset is the story you tell yourself, all the different stories you tell yourself throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the year. Mindset is the story you tell yourself. That's the enlifted definition of mindset, and it is fucking brilliant, isn't it? It's so succinct. You Google the definition of mindset, you're going to come across a million different definitions, and none of them will make sense. Mind is synonymous with language. Language is made up of words. Therefore, mindset is the story you tell yourself. I've lost my train of thought. Totally lost my train of thought. So just going to have to weave it back into the magic of the sacred king. Use your words correctly. Think about your thinking. Don't allow your words to pass your consciousness without analyzing them, without scrutinizing them, without asking yourself, is this true? Is this real? Where does this come from? I remembered the mind's job is to create stories. The mind only knows images of the past. So when feelings, sensations, emotions arise up in the body, the mind goes, I remember this. This is like when I was 5 and I was terrified of my dad because he was an absolute scary ass volcano. This must mean I'm not good enough. And then we're trying to solve the problem up here. Blah, 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 blah. It's relentless and it's exhausting. Breathe it and feel it. Breathe it and feel it. How can 4 words sum up what is so challenging amongst so many people doing powerful, important work in the world? And we are at a stage now where it's a bit fucked, isn't it, the world? It's not actually, it's a beautiful, crazy, bonkers world. It's everything. There is more good in this world than there is bad. There is so much to be grateful for. Right now, it's raining outside. I'm in a beautiful co-working space. This is my co-working space. Check out my co-working space. Look at this. Isn't it beautiful? Amazing. I've got Wi-Fi. No one here, so I get to do videos like this. So blessed. I'm so grateful. We could probably burst all our circuits with gratitude alone. Gratitude is the first place to start when connecting with your sacred king. Be grateful for what we have. Start there. Feel it and breathe. Feel it and breathe.